On this episode of Be You with Shraddha S, let's welcome Kavita Mukhi, the woman who sparked India's organic revolution and started the farmers market movement. A passionate mom and change maker, she is here to show us how to live clean and eat conscious. Please welcome Kavita Mukhi. Welcome to Be You with Shraddha S. And Kavita ji, let's talk about the turning point of your life and how did this journey or a movement, I would call, started.
The turning point was, I think, childbirth. Things going wrong at the childbirth level also. Then the child having not major problems, but colicky, doctors giving antibiotics in the first week of life because he came home after 2 days, just 2 days in the hospital with a rash. So for me, who was brought up in a family that did not take medicines, we would be given homeopathy. Or if we had a fever, we would say drink water and go to sleep. No excuses for not going to school. So for a person like that, it was a big shock. Who had not, I had never taken antibiotics in my life to give a newborn baby antibiotics. So I thought that was my turning point of thinking something is wrong. Then this whole thing of breastfeeding. So I had doctors, because he was colicky, stop breastfeeding, give soya milk. Now, luckily for me, an aunt came from America and presented me with a book called Nursing Your Baby by Karen Pryor.
Okay.
So she's associated to an organization called La Leche League, which is an international organization that helps mothers breastfeed on a mother to mother. It's a voluntary. So I then later on became what they call a leader of that and started to help mothers. So at that point, that book became like my Bible because it said no baby can be allergic to mother's milk,
Right.
but baby can be allergic to what the mother is eating.
Eating, right.
And I was a new, naive, young mother, all of 22, living alone in Bahrain with my husband, with not much help. So every time I'd be hungry and I didn't have time, and with a cranky child, I would go to the fridge, take milk and guzzle it down. The more milk I had, the more the child cried. So actually, the milk has never been really pure since a long time now.
Right.
So once I read this book, and also we read a book by Dr. Herbert Shelton, which my father picked up. It had been lying in the house, but for some reason, this is destiny. He picks it up at that point, and that book says animal milk is not meant for humans, but we'll talk about that later. I don't go totally by that now because it's the quality of milk. So he was reading that plus this information from La Leche. So I put two and two together and stopped drinking milk. No doctor was able to tell me this in those days. Nobody. All family members, in-laws, parents, all well-meaning, always giving advice. But this thing of giving up drinking milk, because milk in the body does not produce breast milk. So I stopped drinking milk, and this child stopped crying. And he, who was taking just enough milk to survive up to that point, he was, I think, 10 months at that time, suddenly started to nurse like a newborn baby because the milk suddenly became good for him.
Right.
So it was such a fantastic learning. And then my parents at that time were living in Daytona Beach, Florida. I came across some very valuable teachers, courses. So I started to study nutrition there when my child was young because I realized how important food was. And I carried on nursing, even though doctors had said to stop. And I suddenly became overconfident. If somebody told me to do all the things I did then, I wouldn't, but I became overconfident about food. Now I know food is just 5%. It's an important 5%, but it's 5% of what makes us. At that time, it was all food. So people saw me as a fanatic person, not giving my child sugar, not doing this, not doing that. But anyway, he did survive, did very well. I mean, we both did well. Everything was fine, but we were a bit hysterical about food.
Right.
So that was my first turning point. And the second came, all this natural stuff became organic when I met Masanobu Fukuoka, who's the author of One Straw Revolution, a beautiful book on farming.
Okay.
On natural farming. So when I read that, it's all this thing about chemicals, pesticides came through. Then he visited India. We met him, and it's all been life altering. So my health food store at that point was a health food store with all the non-refined, all that thing. But then it became an organic store, and then it was an organic business.
So, what inspired you to start this farmers market? Again, I mean, as
Yeah,
you
so
told.
my business was doing dry produce,
Hmm.
and everybody was asking for fresh, fresh, fresh. Where are the fresh vegetables? I would go to retail stores and say, look, I have the farmers who can supply you. So they would say, yeah, okay, great. Here's a rack, fill it up. But if it's not sold, we won't pay you for that. Now,
Hmm.
no farmer wants to take that risk. And at that point, I was a young mother uh, and I couldn't afford to do that. So it would keep getting postponed. And one fine day, it literally became, I wanted it. Actually, everything started, even my shop was started because farmers would not send me one kilo. So I had to order more. So it became like for the Mumbai family that the shop was created. In the same way, the market was created because I wanted vegetables. And then the farmers started to produce. But my main reason for the market is not the health of Mumbaiites, because, we are all going to anyway die one day. It is also very much for the earth,
Hmm.
because otherwise, if you keep putting pesticides, in a few years, your earth is acidic and that's the end of it.
Right.
Unless you again regenerate it, which is a lot of trouble. It's also not just for the farmers. It's not just about earning. That also life goes on. If you do not support organicness, organic farmers, farming per se, then the children of those farmers are not going to want to become. They're all becoming engineers, doctors, and they're all smart.
Yeah.
So they're getting on marketing, they're doing whatever else except farming.
Farming.
So our main thing was that if they do not, the knowledge and wisdom that's coming down from generations
Hmm.
is going to be totally lost to us. And I'm not talking about us as in Mumbai or India, to the world.
World.
If young people from farming families do not want to become farmers, it is actually a very serious issue.
Hmm.
And nobody seems to think about it.
Right.
We need them to actually understand organic, understand naturalness, go into farming. So for me, if you do a farmer's market and the farmer gets all the revenue himself, then his children say, wow. And Bandra is such a great place to have a market because you have film stars, all kinds of famous people coming. And so the kids get enthused. So I have photographs of the farmers' children this big who have now got into farming.
Yeah.
So some are still studying agriculture, some are on the field, and it's wonderful to see how they've been enthused by the market.
By the market.
So that is the main reason. It's not just about our health or
Right.
yeah, it is. If we don't, that farmers are like scientists. The information they're holding,
Absolutely.
when to sow, how to. I mean, it's crazy. So one of the other ways this happened was, I got some land some 20 years ago. So like you feel so excited and you're growing rice and the villagers are helping you. So when they're removing the weed after plantation, they do it like this. And
Yes.
I'm like looking and I could not even differentiate. It took me time to differentiate between a rice plant and
a
the weed. And they were doing it. So I just thought, my gosh, I'm not getting any younger. Are we all going to become farmers? I mean, people have this big idyllic thing, but it's not that simple, because also getting help, your whole family is not helping you. You're trying to do this by yourself. So it is such an important thing to already have this information in your genetic makeup.
Right.
So for me, that was really life altering. Then another incident that happened is, there was a storm one day, and I used to look at the neighbor's field with rice growing, and it was lush and thick and dark green. And I used to look at mine, like me, like skinny, growing there. And I thought, like, is it imitating me or what, And this light green, it was not a deep green. When that storm came, the neighbors, because he's putting fertilizers, the whole crop was flat out. Can you imagine? And my little ones and I got a good crop and he didn't get anything. So it also really at such a deep level made me see it in action on my own land with my own hands. That look what fertilizers do. It's like us taking, people keep taking supplements. Like right now I have an aunt staying with me, elderly aunt. The therapist is saying, oh, give her, this protein thing. She doesn't need that. Her body can't even digest it. So we are not supposed to just give, we are just supposed to look at nature and have natural, whole, organic foods. It is so simple. You know, Shraddha, it is so simple. I sometimes want to stand on the rooftop and like scream to people, say, why are you all ill? Why are you all getting sick when it's so simple to be well?
Do you mean to say if you have proper organic food in terms of veggies, fruits, or pulses and whatever, you don't need outside supplement?
You don't need outer supplement. In any case, you don't need, even if you're eating non-organic food, if you're eating food
Hmm.
in a good balance, you don't need anything.
Right.
That is your sustenance, your food. It has to be in balance. You have to have a cool, calm mind. I mean, there's so many factors, but yes, it's also how you cook it,
Hmm.
in what you cook it,
Right.
all factors combined.
Yes, that's true. How do you make sure that the people or the farmers are associated with you, that they are not using any of the fertilizers or chemicals, and they are going by the book that you have in your mind or head?
Yeah, the book I have in my mind is far beyond the rules of any organization. So basically, when we look for people to join us in this bunch of farmers, is one of the oldest certified. I'm not even saying certification is what we are looking at, but they're the oldest certified organic farmers. They're a group from Nasik. It's a 2,000 strong group. Uh, when we started it with in association with them, with people like this, even if you give them pesticides free, fertilizers free, they will not put it because they know what it does to the land. So, you know, we are dealing with people like this, even our vendors. They understand deeply for themselves in their home also that if you are going to have chemicals, you're going to be ill and then you'll need medication. Actually, you don't need medication anyway. There are ways of just getting well. And you know, we have a 5,000-year-old science called Ayurveda.
Yes.
We have homeopathy, we have Unani, we have Siddha. Why are we looking at a 500-year-old science called allopathy? It may be good in some ways in emergencies, but not daily, not every day. I mean, people are popping Dolo like, okay, kuch ho gaya, Dolo le lo. Everybody's saying take Dolo. It's very dangerous to take Dolo.
Yes.
You know, so you're not letting your body tell you
That what's wrong?
what's happening. Okay, even if you have a headache, if you take a Dolo, like when is the headache gone? Is it gone or is it just a Dolo effect?
Effect.
So even if I have some tooth,
Ache or something.
not any procedure for my
Hmm.
teeth, because you know we all grew up on maida and sugar and all that when we were kids. If the doctor even says, okay, just take the painkiller
Painkiller.
and anti-inflammation, just because you'll feel better, I never take it.
Hmm.
Because then I know, okay, now the pain has subsided on its own, and if there's a swelling, let the swelling subside on its own.
Hmm.
So this is the way I've been doing it, and I've been, I think, it's been very beneficial for my personal health and growth.
How do you respond to the people who says like organic food is only for rich people and it's unaffordable or it's expensive? I mean, do you get to face that? Because at when
Oh,
you
all the time. And it's been my famous answer that people who talk like this, they will not bat an eyelid to buy a 200 rupee ice cream cone, 5,000, 10,000 rupee shoe, jewelry, anything.
Yes.
They will not bat an eyelid. And the other thing, they'll do enough research on what's good, what's bad. Now, today, you want to buy a 100 rupee shirt, you can. You want to buy 500, you can. You can buy 5,000. So why is this whole thing about food? We are just too used to getting food almost free. You know, it's so cheap. And our priorities are all confused. The other thing is you go out and eat,
The bills, restaurant bills that you pay are like
that you don't mind. And that's not even going to give you health. That's going to make you want to take an antacid the next day.
right.
But still, you don't mind that money. So, you know, the priorities of people are so different. For me, I think I'm partly, also, I feel the universe prepares you to be in a certain field.
Right.
So I was brought up in a family where my grandmother saved bits and pieces of cloth, made uh, sheets out of that. We didn't take medicine. We had a homeopath uncle. So we may be born into this, but the priority for me, if apart from my family, even my family thinks very much about costing. But for me, it's always been food because, with a young child whom I had at a young age, it was like, I want this kid to be healthy. And one of the first things is food. For me, breastfeeding was beautiful to just see that just on mother's milk, this child doubles in weight in 6 months. It never happens again. So for me, that was the first beautiful thing about understanding nature and your body,
Right.
how fantastic it is. So for me, food has always, I would go to all the health food stores and farmers markets in Florida.
Okay.
So he was brought up like that. And for me, somehow so if I find something I like, say it's a very good, in those days, 40 plus years ago, things were not easy to find.
Right.
So if I found something that I thought was good for us, I would not think, what's the cost of this?
Right.
If you see my son's baby pictures, he's in the simplest of clothes, literally in that banyan and shorts, but the food was the best. So
That's so important.
it's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
So one
really-
second, can I just say add one just in
Yeah.
the same for
Yeah.
the same question? So my aunt who's now moved in with me, she has no children. She's 88.
Hmm.
So she used to always say, when I tried to switch her when she was staying in Chennai to organic, I would say, I pointed her to the organic stores. We used to shop everything. Then she'll phone me sometimes. You know the price of organic oranges? So I would say, Koshubwa, you're talking about orange prices, which is what, 50 rupees, 100 rupees? When you go to Hawaii, my one aunt lives in Hawaii. I said, when you go to visit your sister in Hawaii, that travel agent comes and you take out your checkbook and you'll sign 2 lakh ka check, 3 lakh. That time, kuch nahi hota hai. People, how they travel, they'll say, we have no money, but they're flying all over the place, They don't have money to buy. Haldi packet, they'll say, oh, organic. How much more, Shraddha? How much more is expensive? Your total bill at the end of the month for a family of 4 won't be more than 2,000 on all your spices and that. It won't be more than that. I can guarantee you that. But people will still talk about money.
Yeah. I think still there are many people who are not aware about the difference between organic and the food or veggies or fruits what we are getting outside. Could you please explain?
No, I think everybody's aware, but I think one of the faults is also of the press, because the press will suddenly tell you, they'll show you videos and all of watermelon being injected, this colors being added. You hear all the time of this export being cancelled because they found color in the red chili, in the haldi.
Right.
But the press will not tell you, okay, if you find this watermelon bad, don't stop eating watermelon. Look for the ones that are not injected. And the word organic somehow is not coming out in this. It's as though it's stifled by the
Right.
pesticide and fertilizer industry,
Right. I think we need to spread more awareness and information.
Just look
about
for
this.
organic. Then the other thing people will say is, how do we know it's organic?
Yeah.
How do we trust the certification? Are you taste it, trust it? What I say is you should know the people behind it. I think which is why
That's very important.
our market has also done well, is because they know that I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's a passion. I want good food. I want safe food for our children.
Yeah.
It's such an important thing. We cannot raise them on chemicals,
Right.
Otherwise, everybody's getting cancer. Every family has cancer.
Yeah.
But we are still not thinking. Some doctors will tell them, then they will go with a vengeance and start looking for organic and all. People who are told by the doctor, because the doctor said, moment they are well, they stop having organic. I've seen this.
Oh.
It's to me, it's the most stupid thing, and it's the most unimaginable way that people are living. I mean, how can you be so irresponsible for your own health? Or that's not the word even. It's not even stupid. It is like, it's senseless. Means you have no common sense that has made you well and you're going back to having something that made you ill. We have to take care of our food because we have no control over the air we breathe. And in a sense, everybody has control. Take individual cars out less, use public transport, which is so good in Mumbai. Buy less synthetic things, because all that synthetic things needs factories that are putting out pollution. Because we don't see it, we don't realize it.
Right.
Such a simple way of being.
Exactly. So again, I would come back to the same question because I really want people to know the difference between organic
Okay.
and
How to
non-organic.
choose and see it's available.
How harmful is the non-organic products which are uh, available, like commonly available? Like I think 90 or 95% of the population is going and buying vegetables from the regular fruit market or a vegetable market. So how different it is and how harmful or safe it is?
Okay, now I'm not a research scientist, so I can't give you figures. But firstly, everything that comes in the market is not organic.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
there are some things that small farmers do, that's why sometimes you'll taste something very good. But generally speaking, I've seen even in far off villages people spraying. Okay, all farmers try to safeguard their interest. They they are being sold all this by companies that don't tell them about the harm. They are harming their own health by breathing in the pesticides when they spray them, putting fertilizers, getting the land acidic. When the land becomes acidic, then who are they going to run to? And then they commit suicide. So it's a vicious circle. So when things come into the market, there's no real way of knowing. So there's one thing about food grown with pesticides
Hmm.
and fertilizers, and the other thing is adulteration of food.
Hmm.
So generally, anything that is made in a powder form, try to make all the powders in your home.
Hmm.
So don't buy a powdered chili powder because you don't know what's in it. Now, haldi you may not be able to do, which is why buying organic is so important.
Important.
And adulteration of another kind is, which is what I just said, injecting fruits, ripening them chemically.
That's again
But
horrible.
you'll taste one of them, you won't be able to have it. So I had some mangoes from my farm this year, and I gave them to a few people, and each one came back and said, "We haven't tasted mangoes like this." And because I have animals on the farm, that cow dung, manure, everything is like making the fruit even sweeter. In fact, my staff, when she made a pulp and gave it to her son, he said, "Mom, have you added sugar to this?"
Wow.
And she laughed and said, "How can I add sugar to mango?"
Right. Right. How nice.
So there's no real other way, Shraddha,
Hmm.
unfortunately, of knowing except through the taste.
Hmm.
And therefore, going to farmers' markets and buying branded items, knowing who started the brand, why did they start it? A lot of the brands have been started by people who's had death of cancer for mother, sister, and they've started these because of that. And uh, that these people, unless somebody plays mischief, but otherwise, I mean, in the staff and all that, otherwise, they're all very genuine.
Hmm.
Most of the companies, I
Hmm.
don't think we should say, oh, they're just making money.
Right.
There are
Right.
many things to do that they could have done. It's not
Right.
an easy business to do.
Hmm.
Firstly, a food business.
Hmm.
So I would say now, when we started the farmers market in 2010,
Hmm.
ours was very organic. In fact, it's probably even in the world, I don't think there's any farmers market that says organic farmers market. They're all farmers market. You'll find organic people, non-organic people, but they're all farmers. So when we started our market, uh, we pushed this thing of it's all organic. So now what has happened, sadly, is all the markets that started in India after that, people think all of them are organic.
Oh, all the farmers markets are organic.
Yeah, which they're not.
Yeah.
And even sadder is that in Bombay, there are markets that have been started by commercial people. They're not even farmers there.
Oh.
There are vendors there.
Okay.
And, from Vashi market, they come, they sell, they write farmers market, not organic, not farmers. And people actually, some people who don't know that our market's been on for 16 years, they will say, oh, yeah, we've gone to the Sachivalya one, or we've gone to the Worldly one, or we've gone to the Priyadarshini. They're not organic and they're not even farmers. So it's sad that some people are buying things thinking it's organic and it's not.
Right. Right.
So it's up to each individual to really take the trouble to go to a market, to just take the trouble. It doesn't take time. You have to do that research once.
Right.
Anyway, one of the things I'm planning to do, I just haven't had the time, is to put out a website with what I feel
Hmm.
are not just organic, but which are completely grown with organic
Seeds.
heritage seeds.
Yeah.
So then you'll know that these products of these people and it's not for money. Nobody's going to pay me for this. It's just to have that information for the people of the world to know that these are, because I have known some people from, like a friend of mine he had bought a lot of dry land
Hmm.
and then they grew millets in South India and helped a lot of small farmers. So I know the purity of that
Hmm.
product,
Hmm.
of that company. So like this, I will put out a whole bunch of people, and slowly and gradually that will grow. And then I'm hoping that since this website will be out, more and more people will be encouraged to, like, even now some people come and say, oh, we do natural products, can we come, we do natural bakery. No, it has to be organic. So I'm hoping that by with our market and with this website, more and more people will choose to go only organic, even the companies. Why do a little bit this? And they say, oh, we'll bring organic to the market. I said, sorry, you can't bring organic to the market. Then people will get to know you. They won't know that
The other products are
or not.
non-organic.
And I'm not going to be able to tell everybody, and neither are you going to tell. They'll trust me, and then they will look at your website and buy whatever. So
Right.
we are that particular. So even if you're doing half, sorry.
I know you've been so particular, and I think that's the reason I've been coming to the farmers market from last, I think, 8 years, ever since I got introduced to it. And I'm so happy and glad and thankful to you for it, having this so accessible in a city like Mumbai, I think.
Right, so close by.
So close
In
by.
when you're in other countries, you have to travel at least an hour to go to a
Right.
farmer's market.
Right.
And Mumbai people are so lazy. Somebody will come from different parts and say, "Can you have one near our house?" It doesn't work that way. It's not easy to even set it up.
Right. Right.
So one is
I see the the way logistics and everything goes behind
Yeah.
setting it up every Sunday. But yeah, this is one of our favorite activity when kids are home for vacation. Every Sunday they want to visit, and also apart from buying fresh veggies and fruits, the kind of products and
atmosphere.
items for breakfast available. I
The
think
cafe
cafe.
the pop-up cafe is like, I think it's to die for because it's so beautiful to just sit there and
Sit there and
enjoy.
yeah, and knowing like guilt-free eating,
Guilt-free,
absolutely. So that's
No, and
fine.
it's just a fun Sunday morning. I know kids this small who tell their parents, they wake them up in the morning and say, let's go. And apparently, there's one, I just did a little shot of a little boy who comes in his pajamas
Okay.
and his big dog.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, when they say the word farmer's market, the dog is,
Oh, he knows exactly where we are
is all
going.
excited. Yeah.
How nice, how nice.
Mm.
I'm so happy and thankful to you for the market that you have given us. Now we were just talking about the organic seeds, the
Yeah.
heritage seeds and all that. In today's time, I see there is a craze between young parents, and not only young parents, but of course youngsters and young generation, whether they want to have and consume all the imported fruits. They fancy, they look amazing, and it's kind of a cool to have those imported fruits. What is your take on that?
You know, local is what we promote partly also so that you're not wasting the earth's energies on transporting these things. See, everybody is always going to want a bit of exotic. I mean, it's all right, but it's have it for variety, have it for your taste, have it because you think it's also fun to serve it to people, but don't think you're getting great health out of it because it's the more local you have, the healthier for you. Also, the climate. So if you have, like, for example, if you have mangoes
Hmm.
in the summer, people say it gives you pimples. No, it's not heaty. Mangoes, nature's not stupid to give us mangoes
In
in the
summer.
heat of the summer. It's actually the most cooling fruit. But if you have it after food, with food, it's a mess. Because
Right.
fruit needs to go directly into your intestine to be digested and get the best energy.
Right.
If you have mango all messed up, yes, it'll cause you acidity and give you heat.
Right.
On an empty stomach, you can do an experiment. I mean, it's a bit too late now because we're into the monsoon. Eat a mango, sit down, watch your body temperature, it will come down.
Mm.
It's like magic, especially if it's very hot. Same with watermelon.
Hmm.
But if you have these fruits And also it's watery, so it gives you the water you need. If you have this in the winter, you can imagine what will happen. It has a reverse effect.
Right.
It'll cool you down when your body needs heat.
Hmm.
And this is the imbalance that happens. So same thing with having all these foreign things. Like I said, have it for fun, but don't have it thinking you're. And frankly, I don't see what we don't have. We have everything.
Hmm.
I mean that the cherries, the small cherries we have, which are partly yellow and partly red. When they come, you can't get that sweetness in those big fat cherries from anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Now, I can understand still a few things coming from Thailand, but even those, you get everything here.
Hmm.
From the best of mangosteen. If you want to go once in a while, go to Thailand and enjoy there.
Right.
And also support your country. The apples, oranges, we have the best of fruit in India.
Right.
We are known, I mean, we are a tropical country.
Yeah.
And we really have such I mean, the lychees. When my father had a farm in UP, there was a fruit called, which nobody even knows of now. It's called lokat.
Hmm.
Few elderly people will know.
Okay.
It was too delicious. And sadly, it doesn't exist anymore. It's just that those trees, at least we have not seen it forever. Maybe if I go to the UP or Delhi market, I may find it, but it hasn't been in Maharashtra for very, very long.
Oh.
But we used to get cratefuls of lychees, lokat, mango.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
How nice.
Now, right now, also, it'll still be mango season with South Indian mangoes and UP mangoes, Langra and Daseri and all.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think? Like, what are like three easy lifestyle changes urban people can, household can make towards sustainability, or if wants to have a little more conscious life?
So, one is definitely, which is my pet subject, is to segregate your garbage
Hmm.
and to give what you can to recycle. And my famous line has been buy less,
Hmm.
need less, and use less,
Hmm.
so that you're not creating more garbage. So I would say, but if you are over consuming, then definitely segregate the dry and the wet. Do composting with your wet. You can really, really contribute to a better earth by just this practice.
Right.
And if you start also some farming on your own terrace, all your wet waste, even the vegetable waste, can all go and become compost. All you have to do is cut everything in small pieces and compost it. It's amazing. And when you see this becoming earth again, I think all those things give you great satisfaction. Great satisfaction.
Yeah.
So the second thing I would say to be sustainable is to look to nature
Hmm.
for solutions
Hmm.
and see what would be the best thing with nature as the main hero,
Right.
and go organic. That all goes without saying. And I think the thing to be sustainable, if you're stress free,
Hmm.
so to find a philosophy in life that there's stress for everybody, but how to deal with that stress.
Hmm.
So if you know how to deal with that, then you won't get into alcohol, smoking, all that contributes to being, then, just generally, and you won't become a nuisance to society. Then you need health care. I mean, it's crazy the way things can go. You can have nervous breakdown and, get into so many people in depression.
Yeah.
So getting sunshine, all that helps. So I know I'm not really answering exactly for being sustainable, but this all helps us in being whole human beings.
Right.
And when you get into nature and farming and things, you automatically become
Absolutely.
sustainable. There's no
Yes.
way you will not be able to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. You just.
You'll realize if you leave a plastic on the soil. My farm till today,
Hmm.
when the rain comes, there's plastic that comes with it, and all that I do at my farm is pick plastic till today. It's very sad, but sometimes I'm digging into the soil. I'll see a little plastic string I dig out, and a long plastic string comes out. That's how much we are engraved in plastic.
I have seen that in farmers market, how we encourage to have like a cloth bags or something. But in certain products, you see still, for packaging and all that, the plastic have been used or they're using.
See, sadly, even at the farm level,
Hmm.
gunny bags are gone.
Gone.
Okay.
The plastic
Because
ones.
it spoils more easily. and it's more costly. But plastic has been around now because of its cost. So even when the fresh farm produce, it's not like it's kept in some idyllic way. It's all kept in plastic sacks. This is the tragedy. But still, when it comes to you in a shop, it has to come, or even at the market, it comes in food grade plastic. That still is okay.
Yeah.
What people are doing now, wanting to show you that this is brown paper, but inside it's lined with plastic or with silver, it's very, very bad. So I would encourage people to actually choose companies that have simple, straightforward packaging. When you use that plastic, empty it as soon as you take it home, put it in a glass jar. Just use glass or steel jars and clean that plastic, dry it, and make sure the Bangarwala gets it because he'll earn from it. And it will not become part of a landfill.
Yes, yes.
So packaging is a big tragedy, and sadly, people are not, they're going more and more into this silver lined, plastic lined packaging, which gives you better shelf life, but it doesn't give you better health. So at one point, we are trying to say, let's eat organic, and then we are compromising our health with the packaging. But that goes with even non organic. That's even worse. So, it's the same problem.
So is eating organic is enough, or should we rethink about how to cook it and eat it?
Cooking, in what we cook it, with the energy with which you cook it, who's cooking it.
All
I
that
mean,
matters.
it's more important than the food probably, because you shouldn't be cooking in aluminum. If you can get good earthenware, and if you're using steel, then you're not supposed to take another steel thing and go clank, clank, clank. Firstly, it's noisy, and then that steel also gives you, it leaches off. It's not supposed to go in. Brass, we used to use brass where kalai was done. Now that is not really factor, but it's still okay to use brass.
Kalai wala brass.
Yeah. No,
Earthen
even
pots. Other than that,
steel utensils, but all wooden spoons you should use, and iron.
iron.
So like our tawa on which we make roti, I also have a frying pan which is iron,
Iron.
and you just need to keep it oiled and it won't rust. Just like a tawa, and you're not supposed to keep on washing it. You're
Right.
supposed to because when you put oil and ghee and all that, it's really needs to be in that. Not we've got this obsession with washing, and then we'll wash it and we'll use synthetic soaps, and then that synthetic if you see your dishes when they're dried, you'll always see a layer of synthetic soap. So please, it's a very important thing. Not just your food, your cleaning liquids have to be eco-friendly. If you can just use ash, it's good.
Yeah.
Even for your floor, you don't need cleaners. You just need a bit of sea salt for your floor, and even there are many natural liquids even for cleaning bathrooms, and those smells, the fragrances that people use are very bad for health. So you have to really take care about that.
Right. What are some greenwash terms people should watch out when they're buying food or
Well,
edible?
natural is the most common.
Yeah.
Organic, I don't think people can use organic just like that. There are quite a few rules for that. So natural is one big one. Fresh. And the other common one is vegan. Okay. So, for things that are normally also not vegan, but now we'll say vegan.
So there are two terms like vegan and plant-based.
No, sorry, I said the wrong. So basically, even something that is normally gluten-free also.
Yeah. Are vegan.
No, they will say gluten-free, but that never had gluten.
Yeah.
So you're not made a special product.
Just to sound
just for people to know, okay, now but people know this is
gluten-free
for anything.
Originally, yeah.
Any rice product, anything, they'll say gluten-free.
Gluten-free.
I can understand if you made something special,
Yeah.
But
rice never had the gluten, so you don't have to mention it on
So,
that.
if you've copied something with gluten and made it gluten-free, then you put that label.
Right.
Same thing for vegans. You can't put it on everything, and it's like claiming.
Right.
So we are this, we are natural, we are this, we are this. And sadly, a lot of people who don't have animal products, they don't also choose organic. They think just being vegan you know,
It's enough.
yeah, or the other way to put it is, a lot of people think vegan food automatically is organic. It's not.
It's not.
And a lot of it has got a lot of stuff in it which you don't need, because it's not, being vegan doesn't necessarily mean it's pesticide free or it's preservative free. It doesn't mean that.
It doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's,
I think that's the
yeah. So
that's
that,
a very important information one should get.
Yes.
If you're eating vegan, that doesn't mean it's an organic product.
Yeah.
Or
doesn't mean preservative free, doesn't mean pesticide free.
right.
So you have to be, I can understand if somebody says organic and vegan and gluten free. And there are many good products. Actually, the Indian diet, if you see, if you take away milk and ghee from it, and everybody doesn't drink milk, but ghee in some form, if you just take away the ghee, it becomes vegan. But ghee is a very important part of our
Important,
diet. Yeah.
Right, right.
But now
Yeah.
that's not for us to argue with people who don't want to have.
Also, the way they are looking at this vegan products, they think it's only out of cruelty this is happening. But also, it's been a part of our tradition, like, cow milk and cow ghee or whatever. Because in Westerns, or because of the industries which are running, they are doing some cruelty with the animals.
That's why choosing organic is important, because a person doing organic
Hmm.
is taking care of the animal.
Right.
Like we get Hills and Valley milk.
Hmm.
I've been to Fulton, where the Lord and Master there, all the villagers had come to him with milk.
Kettles.
Yeah, what do they call them? Those jars, and said, we just can't manage. Everybody with one or two. We can't manage to do this alone. So he got it together. And the other problem with and this is all, it may not be all A2, but it's all organically done. I have been there personally, and all milk today is also not all, a lot of milk is being homogenized. Now that's another very dangerous thing, is when you homogenize milk, because that means you're breaking up the fat particles. And if you break up the fat particles, so you don't get a malai, so it lasts long. So people think, but if something lasts long, it's not good for you. If it's sitting in your fridge for 1 month and not spoiling, something's wrong with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the body doesn't know how to digest that
Right.
when it comes as separated. If it's fat, it knows what to do. And that very often clogs up your arteries also when you have homogenized milk. A lot of people get into problems. So milk is not the problem. If you look after the animal well and have good milk, a lot of people who are milk allergic also, I keep telling them, or wheat allergy, have the better quality wheat, have less of it. Or if you've stopped having, reintroduce the organic version and you see what happens. If I don't have a little bit of milk, I'm not crazy about guzzling milk, but if I don't have a little bit of milk, I feel like I'm forever hungry. When I have with my organic coffee, the little bit of milk that goes in, I feel fantastic, because you feel satiated, then you don't need to constantly eat. Now, people don't get this, and then they're constantly hungry and irritable.
Yeah.
Now, why are we eating? We are not eating just to live long. Yes, that's one reason, but it's also to fulfill your duty, carry on your life, enjoy your life, to be happy. But if you're going to be irritable and annoy everybody around you, I've stopped calling people over for meals, because when you call, you don't know what they're going to drink, and somebody doesn't do this, somebody doesn't that, and the food. So before you call them, then you have to message them, okay, what are the foods you eat or don't eat? And then if there are 5 people eating different things, I've given up, because I think it's almost impossible. We were brought up eating anything and everything.
Okay.
In fact, one night, my brother and I, when we were young, we must have made a face at the food that was, it must have been very simple food that my mother put out. My father said it was dinner time and we were hungry because we'd just come from playing. He said, if you're not hungry, go to bed. After that day, that brother and I, we never complain. Even if we don't eat a particular food, like I don't eat chicken, but if somebody puts chicken out there, if there's a potato, I won't say I don't eat this, because I think that's so selfish to talk like this, It's only about me, me, me. Somebody's prepared, you honor that.
Yeah. Do you think on policy level there should be some changes, on crucial to support organic farming?
See, forget about organic farming. Even at the farming level, you're supposed to get subsidies for wells, for pipes, for this, but it's a long process every time you go to do it. So actually, if just subsidies were easily available without it being a lengthy process. I mean, if I go to my panchayat and say, I've heard this, then they will look at me very blankly. So it just needs to be, you shouldn't have to waste your whole year trying to figure out things and running after things. Same thing with organic. The government could also open up spaces for farmers markets, right?
Right.
In every city. See, every village has farmers markets on different days, but yes, there will be some organic things, some not. And if farmers know that, yes, you're getting a better price for organic, why will they not shift? Which is what people like Two Brothers are doing. People are seeing them as an example, or our market is being seen as an example.
Right.
I mean, Two Brothers also started with our market
Right.
being really popular, and our farmers are doing very well. By the way, when you talk about costing, I have to say this, the rest of the market are normal prices of organic, but our fruits and vegetables being sold by our farmer group from Nasik is cheaper than at any non-organic local market in the city. So we cannot just, I think it's become a blind thing to say. And there are many people who've realized this and they come and really shop. And the other thing is, we do charge a little extra for onion, potato, tomato, because I decided that right at the outset 16 years ago, that why should that be so cheap to have that? Because that's also effort for the farmer.
Farmers do.
So at the moment, I think it's 55 or 60 rupees a kilo. And the price usually holds for a year or two. When the market price goes to 100, 80, 90, 100 or more, or not available, ours is still at the same price. And of course, you see more people coming, but we really prefer to keep a section for our regular customers who have supported us through the year, not people who just come because the price has gone down. So
Right.
it's actually not expensive at all. It's right now the fruits and vegetables are cheaper at our market than anywhere else. So people should really come.
How do we inspire more people or youth towards this movement or towards the organic
I don't think
movement?
there's any way to actually just inspire them. If people just take a seed and put it in and see it grow, I think that's like the first that can change your life. But most people today are stuck with a computer in front of them.
Or
Very
phones
few
or
people are
screen?
even meeting friends or going out. It's quite tragic. And then there's depression, then you don't get sunshine. So I wouldn't know how to get them out of that. I think it's something that comes from the heart. It's a divine plan that happens for each one of us, right?
I think we have already spoken about what's the myth about the organic food that you would like to burst of good.
Oh, I think the biggest, forget the money part. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just a fad.
Yeah.
It's like something that's come from the West.
Invest.
It's actually
The
truly who we, especially India.
exactly.
We are an agriculture country. It's our heritage, it's our traditions, our roots. There's Vedic agriculture, and I mean, it goes very deep. You also do things according to the planets, according to season. It's like I said, farmers are scientists. And we have just given them a very lowly grade. I remember one young girl working with me from Bangalore when she met the farmers, and she said, but they don't look like farmers, And I remember the person who's organizing the other farmers. He said, "What do you want them to look like? I mean, are they all meant to be poor and like in ragged clothes? Why should that be? Um, the one of this farmer and his son just went to Japan for one of the food exhibitions. It was so nice to see this, enjoying things in a foreign country for the first time.
Right, right.
So we need to give them a better status. We need to value them more.
Exactly. They are like datas,
Imagine one day without food. And if they so decide, they can decide to only do things for themselves and forget about all of us.
Yes.
Are all of us going to get into agriculture and grow? And let me tell you, it's not easy. You will not even find the labor to do it.
Right.
And the cost of the labor will be more. That's why I stopped rice farming, because the cost of the labor was more than the cost of the rice, of the value of the rice. So that's when the farmers market became very close to my heart, because to support them is the best thing you can do.
Right.
Come to the market, talk to them with respect, thank them. My once a week mailer always says, please remember to thank the farmer. We don't do that. In fact, we'll argue with them about the price. We'll find people taking beet. The beet leaves,
Hmm.
carrot leaves are the healthiest,
Obviously.
more healthy than the
They
beet.
don't
And
want to wait.
they want to weigh less, so farmer gets less. Or
Okay.
I shouldn't say they are trying to give the farmer less, but they are trying to pay less.
Pay less.
Even rich people, they will remove the beet leaves, throw it, and take that. And it's very tragic to see this. Or they will take lettuce or cabbage and remove the top leaves. I mean, is the farmer supposed to do this for you as a, I mean, what have you done for him that he should be growing food for you?
Right.
I think we really need to change our mindset.
Right.
What are we without food? We'll all become
Exactly.
sannyasis and go to the mountain.
What's your one message for today's generation who would want to live mindfully but don't know where to begin?
So, like I said earlier, you need to just have a philosophy in life. I find a lot of people who get ill
Hmm.
are people who don't have that trust in nature, trust in the universe. So anything that happens to them, it becomes me, I, and they get paranoid and
Very
scared.
self-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not even self-centered. It's because they haven't been introduced. Our Western education doesn't introduce us to that higher self.
Hmm.
While our Indian, if you were in a Gurukul, there would be meditation, yoga, all that, and I think a lot of people get into drugs because they have not had that
Experience of.
experience of the universe, of expansion of the mind. So they're always looking for something, and they get into the wrong thing. So if you just have a good philosophy of life, and India has so many various kinds. I mean, our Bhagavad Gita itself, the simplest thing in that is what? Do your duty. And we've all come into this world. If we do not fulfill our duty to yourself, to your work, leaving something behind, doing some good work, doing your duty to your parents or whatever it is, but doing. For me, my mantra has been to be busy. To be busy every minute. So your mind, my guru used to say, I had a wonderful guru called Ramesh Balsekar. He used to say, keep your working mind busy. So that's what I do. I'm not just working for the sake of working. Of course, I'm passionate about many, many things. So not just if you keep your working mind busy, then your thinking mind doesn't have a way inroad to start thinking. Because if you start thinking, this one did this, that one this, and nobody did anything actually, it's all the divine plan.
Right.
What you did to me, what I did to you, it's all planned. The movie is in the can, as he used to say. So if you can understand this basic Indian philosophy, which at the deep level we all do, but unfortunately, our parents didn't imbibe it in us because nobody imbibed in them. It's all been very Western. We were all sent to Western oriented schools, Western colleges. So sadly, that Indian philosophy is lost somewhere.
Hmm.
But if you're lucky, like I think I'm a very, very fortunate person. So I found this guru at a young age. I'm always in bliss. I'm always happy. The worst things can happen. I have 3 court matters going on. I'm still happy. Because if you understand that even that court matter is part of a plan, and at some point, it will all go away. My son jokes with me because I take things so happily, and I'm in running to court.
Right.
And even when I don't have to, I could keep somebody there, but I like to witness things myself and understand. So he always says, what will you do when your court matters are over? He always jokes with me. But I'm just trying to say how everything is part of life.
Right.
If you have that understanding, there can be no stress. And if you have that philosophy and do your duty, then everything somehow falls into place.
Right.
And you have no enemies. Also, you don't blame yourself, because even something bad you do, like some not so good things have happened through me, but I can't imagine if I kept cursing myself about it. No, it's something that was meant to happen. That person was meant to hear it from me, whatever it may be. And time passes and your life passes in a healthy, peaceful way.
Right.
Eventually, that's what it is. You know,
Right.
the guru used to say, Sukha Shanti.
Yes.
You know, so what we are looking for is that peace. It's not even happiness. It's not a correct word. It's a peaceful state of existence.
Right.
So if we can reach that state, what more do we want? I've forgotten your question.
Yeah. It was
What? Live mindfully.
mindfully. Yeah.
I mean, choosing organic is because that's my field. It will always come as in the forefront.
Right.
But I think this philosophy, because when I said 5% food, what is the 95% is living life, and all disease. I learned this luckily in Florida with some very nice teachers. It begins here. Without it beginning here, you cannot have. Okay, sometimes you've eaten something terribly wrong, you get acidity. That I'm not talking about that kind of. I'm talking about deep illnesses. Unless you don't accept it, want it, and it's all connected to an emotion. You know, like liver is connected to anger. So an angry person, otherwise you can drink, nothing will happen to your liver. But if you have anger and you drink, the liver will go.
Right.
It's a simple thing. Some people will smoke, nothing will happen to them.
Right.
And some people, if they have, things with your lungs, sadness, not being happy to be, then you'll get a lung problem.
Right.
And for me, cancer, I've seen the sweetest people get cancer. Because they are unable to
Express their
yell at people. Like I'm forever yelling, at people. And people may not like it, but that's me, I don't want to hold everything. And for me, once I've said it, it's clear.
It's clear.
And I think people have understood that, okay, she'll get angry for 1 minute, but it's not good sometimes. They don't even take me seriously when I'm angry. But that resentment,
when you suppress your emotions,
when you're holding it, like a lot of women hold this resentment with in-laws and they cannot speak it out.
right.
And it's very tragic to see, breast cancer, this cancer, that cancer, just holding it. And if you cannot express it to that person, you have to find ways. You have to find ways to de-stress. But not many people can help you. It has to come from within you. You have to do enough of that philosophical understanding and research. And it all happens.
Right.
And just sitting few minutes peacefully, and even meditation is not for everybody. Like it's not for me. For me, I'm a doer. So from morning to night, I'm doing. And I'm happy doing that. For me, every day, more things from my diary are done, the happier I get.
How wonderful. Again, I would really, really, from bottom of my heart, would like to thank you for, for such an amazing initiative and, taking care of, I think, thousands and thousands of human beings' health and, making them aware of it. Of course, supporting farmers and taking care of Mother Earth and being generous towards her is also a part of your venture.
Farmers' children, yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
next generation.
I mean, I really look up to you, and again, would really like to thank you. And, if people who are genuinely interested in this and would like to buy organic products, we have this organic farmers market happening on every Sunday morning at Bandra YMCA ground.
Right.
So, yes,
Now,
and
I have to thank you for taking this message to the people. Thank you, Shraddha.
thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If this has inspired you, you can subscribe and come to the farmers market.